possibility as well that the US needs to take over here. In fact, there is some more breaking input coming our way. A facility linked to the British oil company Castrol has been targeted in Iraq, with visuals showing thick black smoke rising from the site. The cause of the fire and the extent of the damage have not been officially confirmed. Ambassador, if I can come to you over this, we have a new, Donald Trump statement where he wants an early exit. We are still seeing energy infra being attacked across the Gulf. We were talking about the Gulf region and its impact, the conditions that it is currently facing. But let's also talk about the implications for India, because we are still seeing energy infra being targeted. We just introduced to our viewers that a Castrol plant, has been hit in Iraq. Obviously, the globe will see 5 to 6 years of a crisis-like situation in the oil, in the energy, energy sector. For India as well, we had maritime and naval interests in the region. Apart from our diaspora, 9 to 10 million people over there, sir. How are we going to rebuild that?
The problem when you come at the end of the discussion, and that too after people like the Commodore who spoke first, and then Major General Sudhakarji, is that I really don't know what is left for me to. So let me go entirely in a different direction, and let me not touch on issues which are truly not in my domain.
Okay.
The military issues have been touched on by both the gentlemen, and let me not really do things which I can't do very well. Let me come to basically put an overall perspective in terms of the strategic framework. One or 2 points here. We know that the USA came to the war at the instigation from Israel and Saudi Arabia, but more from Israel than Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia came in essentially because of Arab versus Persian historical contexts in the region for influence. But I think Saudi Arabia can live with it. That is not a big problem. But for Israel, where it is actually related to the very existential issues in terms of Palestine, the Jews, the Christians, they say it's a very terrible kind of a crucible, really, where all things are getting mixed up. But for Israel, it's a very, very difficult issue. And that is the reason you will notice that even if, and this is very important also, that even though USA continues to say that they will exit the war, even if the Straits of Hormuz remains closed, even if they've reduced the 15-point proposals to just 4 points, that is basically degradation of the military capacity and the industrial capacity. But Iran has not said yes at all so far. Even after all this, Israel has not said anything at all about to stop the war. Iran, on the other hand, has said they are not interested in ceasefire. Only a complete stopping of the war will satisfy them, and Israel will never ever agree to that. Therefore, we are now at a point. USA wants to exit, they want an offer. Iran knows that USA is in a difficult position. It's not just supplies. Supplies, Iran, there is attrition on the Iranian side, there is attrition on the American side. The attrition is taking place, but simply because for the USA it's a political game. I don't think USA can afford to stay in Middle East far longer. The mid-term elections are coming, November, not very far off, and Trump knows how critical they are. Therefore, Trump is in a rush to get out, but he is not able to get out because Israel doesn't want it. The point really here is, and that in the bold script, America, USA is under some sort of a pressure from Israel, and they are not able to avoid it. And therefore, what I think is that even if there is attrition on both the sides, and simply because Israel doesn't want it, unless USA is able to tell Israel off and tell them to handle the war on its own, which basically means Lebanon, Hezbollah. Unless they do that, the war will be going on for more time. Just a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. But it's a longer war.
All
That
right,
is a,
so very interesting perspective over there, Ambassador, that Israel maybe needs to toe the line that US is setting forth in this war scenario.